So there is a video that's been floating around the internet for a little bit now of a police officer trying to subdue somebody in a public parking lot. And he has a very difficult time not only getting control of the individual, but trying to get the guy down to the ground, which he actually never does in this specific case. Which brings me up to a very good question. Should officers be required to train in Jiu Jitsu, or at least just grappling in general? Now we're gonna break this video down into a couple videos because there's a lot of different areas that we can touch upon. I wanna focus on one in specific for this video because there was one area in particular that he had, come over here, he had a perfect opportunity to get this guy down. And it's right here when he gets into like the front body lock, front headlock type position. And he actually does secure the front headlock and then naturally switches it to kind of like the front body lock. And one, just for those that are not familiar with that, for why he did make that switch, is because from a law enforcement's perspective, this kind of like front guillotine, front choking position just does not look good to outsiders when you see someone wrapping their arms around somebody's neck, especially as a police officer. So they're not really technically allowed to utilize those types of chokes in specific situations, especially like this. So they have a little bit more restrictions on what they're allowed to do, but even still, if you're in a front headlock, even if I'm just grabbing like a chin strap, like there's no harm here. Again, obviously it doesn't look the best from an outsider's perspective, but this is a very good grip to control. Either way, if you're in this front body lock or front headlock position, there are a lot of ways that I can take this person down to the ground in a safe manner, which is a big thing to understand as well, because if I slam this guy, if I suplex him, if I just blast him down to the ground, I'm risking him getting hurt, which again, from a legal perspective, is going to put me in a lot of trouble, whether I am a law enforcement officer or not. So I want to go over a few different ways, depending on how the situation unfolds. Now, first things first, if we're just going to go in from like a body lock position, one of the best things that you can do from this point is just simply sprawl out. Now, if I'm going to sprawl, I need to make sure that I'm positioned properly, because if I'm kind of riding too high like this and he starts kind of dropping his weight, he might actually be able to get through my legs. He can blast through me. He can literally just kind of pick me up over his head a little bit if I'm kind of riding a little bit too high. So if I'm sprawling per se, I want to make sure that I keep my pressure right on his top of his back. And as I'm doing this, again, if he's driving into me, it makes it a little bit easier because I can lower his weight. But if he's trying to posture, then I'm just going to stay and just get real heavy on him like this, and essentially just try and get him to touch the ground with his hands or his arms, and eventually kind of get to like this turtle position to where I can now start working the back. And that's going to be pretty much like the simplest way to take somebody down if you've got no experience, is just start sprawling out, keep that pressure down. Again, I'm putting all my weight onto this portion of the back, especially if I'm a bigger person than him. This is going to be a lot of weight for them to carry. Now, let's just say that sprawling's not in your DNA, you're not really good at it, you don't really comprehend how to do it. The next best option, in my opinion, is simply just going to be a snap down. Now, when we're doing snap downs, what I don't want to do is stay in this position and just start trying to like drive him straight down here. I need to create a pocket. I need a space that when I step back, he has nowhere else to go, so he's essentially, again, forced to put his hands out. And that's what we're ultimately looking for, is for him to post on the ground, post on his forearms, not necessarily face to the concrete. If I'm in this position here and I'm looking to snap him down, what I want to do is actually release my grip, and I'm going to go right behind both of his armpits. And as I secure both his armpits, again, I'm going to quickly scoot back. It's not going to be two motions. I don't want to scoot and then snap him down. It has to be at the same time. So as I'm stepping back, I'm going to grab his armpits, just bring him straight down to the ground. And again, the key with this is I'm pressuring in right away. So as soon as I snap him down, my chest goes right away to his back. From here, we have to move. If I sit here, and let's just say now at this point things are going to start getting escalated, I just took this guy to the ground, maybe he doesn't want to go down from there. If I hang out here, I'm giving him the opportunity to start grabbing my legs, start climbing up into me, and if I don't know what to do, or if I don't act fast enough, he's going to get that position on me. So anytime you snap someone down and they end up in this turtle position, let's look to stuff the head right away. Let's look at least to come around to the back. We can get around to the side. I can drop him, I can start working him down, I can take side control, I can easily get behind and start kind of wrist riding him a little bit and get him to collapse onto his stomach. So you have options on how to break their posture once we get here, but I have to do it right away. The other way that we can snap them down is if we are from the front headlock position, which again, at the beginning of this incident, you see that the officer has somewhat of like a front headlock here, right? So again, if we're in a front headlock where my arms are locked, if I'm going for the snap down, again, I'm going to switch to the armpit, and my other hand's going to just switch to what we call, again, the chin strap. From here, it's the same motion. I'm going to scoot back, pull him straight down, and then once again, right away, we stuff the head, we pass, and we get the breakdown from there. The other thing that may happen in these situations, which is what you see in this video, is this guy's trying to stand up, right? They're trying to get their posture back up, which again, at this point, you literally see the officer release him, kind of push him back a little bit, and then he goes after chasing the guy once again. So we have to understand that there's really only two things that are going to happen from here. Either they're going to drive into you, trying to take you down, or they're going to try and posture, trying to get out of it. So if I can't snap them down, if I don't know how to sprawl properly, then I'm going to be forced to take them down once they start posturing up. And again, how I do that is going to depend on my grips. So if we're going back to like the body lock position, if I feel him posturing up, and again, it's not going to necessarily be like an explosive posture, but you're going to feel a constant pressure. When I feel him starting to pop his head out, I'm going to take the outside arm, I'm bringing it right next to the side of his head, not smacking him, but I'm just looking to cup the side of his head. I'm going to continue driving into him as I push his head away. I'm going to take now my outside hand, I'm going to reach down again, pushing him away, reach down, grab that ankle, pick up, and right away I'm going to pressure in. We can stuff the hip, we can get to like a head quarters position, right? I can stuff this knee. We can talk all day in a different video on how to control from here, but you have the ability to get control of the situation once again, and they're on the ground in a safe manner. So I'm not necessarily always a huge fan of hitting like double leg takedowns in street altercations, especially because if you do it wrong and you like drive your knee into the ground, I'm gonna mess up my leg. So if I'm doing a double leg, this is actually a perfect scenario to use one, especially again, if we're talking about them posturing up. If I feel them posturing, then essentially what I'm gonna do is keep that pressure, and then on my terms, I'm gonna quickly release, drop levels, and again, not drop it all the way down to the ground, just literally grab their legs, pick them up, do a blast double, and take them down the ground. I'll actually post a clip right here that you can see of an officer that uses this successfully in a street altercation where he just set up a perfect double leg, took him right down to the ground, and immediately got control. So they can work. Again, you just have to kind of time it right. Now, the other option that you have, and it seems risky, but trust me, it can still be effective, and this person will definitely not be expecting it. If we're in the body lock position, what I want to do is actually transition to the front headlock. I'm not going to secure the head. I'm just going for the front headlock position, but I want the outside arm going from their neck all the way to the armpit on the inside. So when I get here, maybe if I already had the chin straps, like let's say we start how the officer started, instead of switching to the body lock, I'm just gonna shoot this hand through, lock my hands, trap this arm a little bit. The key again is I gotta keep this pressure on him as much as I can so that he can't posture up. And now I'm going to commit, and I'm just gonna drop to this hip, completely roll underneath him, pull him all the way on top, shoot all the way through. Again, call it the gator roll for a reason. And now I'm gonna start kind of posturing up. For those that do like sport jiu-jitsu, this is where we can start cinching in different chokes. Again, we're not talking about that in this situation. I'm gonna keep this nice and tight. Right away, I'm gonna take the arm that's through, trap behind the tricep. As I start circling, and notice how I circle, I drive in with that shoulder. I'm gonna grab the wrist. I'm gonna start pressuring in, secure side control. Again, I can stuff. We have tons of options on how we can secure the position, but I can guarantee you they're not expecting that one. So the question that people are obviously going to ask in this situation is, well, if we're in this situation, if I'm grabbing him here, if I'm doing this, what's stopping him from using any hand, exactly, reaching for weapons on me, reaching for something on him? To be honest, no, I'm not preventing that from happening, but I can tell you that if I start acting right away, he's not gonna have time to reach for something on me because he's gonna be more focused on not trying to eat the shit when he hits the ground. So if I get into this position and I'm just hanging out here, yeah, I'm giving him all the time in the world that he can start grabbing on my waistband or his waistband, it doesn't matter. But if I get into this position and right away I'm snapping him down and I'm trying to work him down and just constantly keeping pressure, the last thing he's focused on is, oh, I gotta get something. It's more so, I gotta fight these hands, I gotta post on the ground. So when you get into those positions, again, this is why I encourage officers, train. If you're getting hands-on with somebody, learn how to deal with this stuff in these situations. Get the pressure, start trapping arms, start working off the different 2-on-1, start looking to sweep, take him down, whatever I need to do to keep his balance off and keep him from grabbing and doing whatever he, whatever else is possible, then I'm not as worried about him grabbing from a waistband. And if that does happen, then, well, now we're in a different circumstance. The only other thing I'll add for this, for those that are not into law enforcement, and we'll do a different video on this, but just to give you some insight, chokes are a great way as a non-lethal means to end a situation. So when we're in these body locks, if we're in these front headlocks here, or we switch to this front headlock, yes, I can quickly switch to guillotines, I can do 10-finger guillotines, I can switch to pistol grips, like I have the ability to instantly, again, hit on chokes. I don't even have to finish the choke, I can literally threaten the choke, get them to put their hands on it, and use this to actually break them down, and then quickly turn and take position from there. So, I ask you one more time, should police officers be required to train in jiu-jitsu or at least grappling of some sort? If you ask my honest opinion, 100% they should, but let us know what you think down in the comments. We'll see you next time.